Sage 50 Cloud Capture is a fast and simple way to record your business transactions in Sage 50 Accounting and to file paperwork electronically in OneDrive from anywhere. Sage 50 Cloud's Capture app uses the convenience and security of Microsoft Office 365 to store your data in the cloud and liberate you from the office. Stuart is always on the go meeting with customers. Before Stone Arbor upgraded to Sage 50 Cloud with Microsoft Office 365, he always dreaded submitting expense reports. While trying to log his business expenses and receipts, he would often find that he had misplaced or lost one, ultimately resulting in lost revenue. In the Sage 50 Cloud's integrated Office 365 account, administrators can quickly and easily grant licensed Sage 50 Cloud users access to specific Sage applications, such as Sage Capture, right within the Business Center. After adding users in the Office 365 Admin Center on the Manage Users tab, simply search for the user, then grant them access to the applications they need. Once granted access, users can then download the Sage Contact application from their device store and log in with their secure credentials. Stuart previously downloaded and installed Sage Capture from his phone's App Store and is using it to keep track of his business expenses and receipts as they happen. When Sage Capture is launched, the first screen is the Camera app for immediate capture of a receipt. Also on screen are app menus such as the Options menu in the upper left, where there are links to view your activity, refresh data, and view other app-related links. The camera's flash toggle is in the lower left, and on the right, a button that opens the phone's gallery to access any of the images stored on the phone. This feature is great for uploading receipts captured with the phone's camera. Stuart is at a restaurant and has just completed his meal. Before he leaves, he decides to capture the image of his receipt and upload it immediately. He simply focuses the camera on the receipt and taps the round white Capture button at the bottom of the screen. He can immediately review his photo, ensuring that the capture is legible. Tapping the green check icon will accept the image. If it was a blurry image, he could have used the trash icon on the left to discard it and try again. Stuart can upload just the image without account details, or add details now to create a transaction in Sage along with the image, and have it all taken care of in a few moments. For this receipt, he will provide transaction details. When classifying transactions, Stuart's options are presented at the bottom of his mobile screen. Swiping up or down will move through the options. He selects Expense as the transaction type. Now that he assigned the transaction type, Stuart proceeds to the next step. He is now presented with several data fields to further categorize his transaction. Filling out these important fields will ensure his transaction is received correctly in Sage 50. He proceeds by assigning the payee. Once the payee is selected, he moves on to fill in the payment account. Payment accounts are displayed according to your accounting codes, exactly as they are presented in Sage 50 Accounting. Since Stuart paid cash for his transaction, he selects the appropriate option. He assigns a reference so he can easily identify the transaction. Stuart has a long list of expense accounts to choose from. He can scroll through them manually or just search for applicable keywords. Lastly, he specifies the amount he would like to report. With all required data fields completed, he is ready to post his transaction. Stuart immediately sees his recent activity and the status of the transaction. He checks the status of his uploaded transactions and views past submissions. He can review the details just submitted and even see the copy of the receipt he captured. Now Stuart can rest easy knowing that his expense is uploaded. He doesn't have to hassle with keeping track of his receipts as he travels. With the ability to upload his receipts directly to the cloud and into Sage 50 accounts straight from his mobile device, he never again has to worry about losing receipts or revenue while traveling. He can focus on his customers, not on paperwork. Let's see how the accounting team can access this information after it is uploaded. With Sage 50 Cloud, Office 365 serves as a secure and reliable storage location for all your data. Pamela can find any of the receipts submitting using Sage Capture within the Stone Arbor group in their Office 365 tenant. In the File activity, Pamela can clearly see that Stuart has just uploaded a mobile meal receipt. Since he took the time to fill in the data elements when he was submitting his transaction, the file name reflects the reference information he input, making it easily identifiable. She will now find this item in Sage 50 Accounting. Pamela clicks Find Transactions. In the Find Transactions window, Pamela leaves the last 30 days in the date filter range, as she wants to look for any recent transactions. She could specify other fields if she were looking for a specific transaction. In this case, she'll just find transactions based on the date filter alone. At the bottom of the list, she sees Stuart's meal receipt uploaded from Sage Capture on his mobile phone. A click on the entry brings up details. Here is the date, account, amount, and reference number specified in the Capture app. To see the attachment, she just clicks the Attach button at the top. There is the receipt image file. Thanks to Sage Capture, Pamela no longer has to pester Stuart for receipts, wait for him to gather them, scan them in, and manually enter them into Sage 50 Accounting. Stuart's meal receipt was automatically added to the company's files in the cloud and to Pamela's Sage 50 data as soon as she syncs. Empower yourself and your employees to ditch the paper and never lose a receipt again. By photographing expenses, invoices, or other paperwork with Sage Capture, saving them to OneDrive, and posting transactions to your Sage 50 Cloud account, all from your mobile device or tablet.